The gyro is a chip on your flight controller that tells the flight controller how the quadcopter is moving, and it's essential to the quadcopter's flight performance. But to some degree, it doesn't matter what gyro chip is on your flight controller, because for the most part, they all work pretty well. But there are a few cases where you do need to know which specific gyro chip is on the flight controller. For example, there have been cases where a manufacturer lists one gyro and then puts a different one on the board. And the only way to know if what you actually got matches the product listing is to ask Betaflight. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, how to get Betaflight to tell you what gyro is on your flight controller. But there are more reasons why you might want to know that. Many manufacturers have started switching from gyros manufactured by a company called InvenSense to gyros manufactured by Bosch. And the Bosch gyros that are coming on many flight controllers, including this, the new JBF7V2, which is coming out very soon, that Bosch gyro needs slightly different filter settings in Betaflight than the defaults. And the Betaflight devs haven't yet updated Betaflight to detect the Bosch gyro and adjust Betaflight to match. So that's a change that you might want to make yourself if your flight controller has that Bosch gyro on it. There's an even bigger issue though. There is a specific gyro chip that is not very widely used, but if your flight controller has that gyro chip on it and you flash Betaflight 4.3 release candidate 6, in very rare cases, the gyro will just stop working. And the Betaflight devs don't even quite know why this happens, and they have a tech support ticket open with the manufacturer of the gyro who, well, first they said, why are you using this gyro? This gyro is completely old and no one should be using it. And they're like, well, guess what? It's 2022 and people are just using whatever they can get their hands on. But in the meantime, can you help us fix this issue? No one's quite sure why it's happening or how to fix it, but if it does affect you, your gyro stops working and your flight controller doesn't work anymore, and flashing back to Betaflight 4.2 doesn't fix it. And this problem is made even more significant because in 2022, manufacturers are changing their bill of materials constantly. They may source a different gyro or a different chip just based on what they can get their hands on just to get product into your hands. So how do you know definitively what gyro is on your flight controller that you have in your hot little hands today? This is how. In Betaflight, we're going to connect and go to the CLI tab. And we're going to type the word status. And here in the status readout is the gyro. Gyro equals BMI 270, accelerometer equals BMI 270. That is definitive. If you see a product listing that says you've got an MPU 2682 gyro, but this says BMI 270, it's a BMI 270. That's it. Oh wait, well, there's one other thing. Which gyro is the one that causes Betaflight RC6 to brick your gyro and make your flight controller no longer work anymore? Yeah, kind of important to not overlook that. Well, I did a web search and I actually found my own freaking video. The gyro is the ICM 2689. Incidentally, this is my live stream clips channel, so I know a lot of people don't get the chance to watch my full live streams. So Blunty is going through and uploading highlights like bone-in or boneless wings. Bardwell answers the crucial questions, but also some actual, informative questions and answers and stuff. He's uploading those to the Joshua Bardwell Livestream Clips channel. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Would love to have you as a subscriber. But wait, there's more, because Betaflight RC7 looks like it came out literally 11 hours ago at the time that I'm recording this, and it says fix ICM 2689 initialization by Steve C. Evans in 1189. The question is, does it actually prevent the issue from happening, or does it also fix ones that previously got bricked? Well, it's not really clear whether it fixes that issue or just prevents it from happening in the first place. If you did get hit by the RC6 issue with the ICM 2089 gyro, will you tell me down in the comments if RC7 fixed it for you or not? Just because I'd like to know. What about flight controllers with 2 gyros on them? This is not as common as it used to be because gyros are just more expensive than they used to be, but having 2 gyros lets the flight controller do a thing called sensor fusion, which should give cleaner gyro data. But there is a downside, and that is that when you have 2 gyros, it's twice as likely that one of them will end up going bad. And when it does go bad, the whole flight controller flies badly. But there is a fix. If you've got a dual gyro flight controller with a bad gyro, I've got a video showing you how to tell which of the gyros is bad and then work around that problem without having to just get a whole new flight controller. I'll put a link to that video in a card up on screen and down in the video description if you want to check that out. I'd also like to let you know that I have a Patreon website, which is a site where you can subscribe to me for as little as $2 a month. If you value the content that I make, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. There's a link to that down in the video description as well. If I've earned it today, then get down there and subscribe. And if I haven't earned it yet, I'll keep making content, you keep watching it, and maybe that day will come. Here's that card I promised you. Happy flying.